Over the years since its initial launch in 2005, hundreds of millions, potentially even more billions of videos are uploaded to YouTube each and every day, and it's attracted audiences from around the world, quickly cementing itself as a one-stop shop for entertainment in the modern day. That's why you only hear about 1 or 2 good shows on TV a year nowadays. YouTube simply provides better dopamine flow and arguably better entertainment. So that's why I wanted to go back and look back on the years and reminisce on some of the most disturbing and some even unsolved YouTube rabbit holes. Because there's always bound to be some needles in the massive haystack that is YouTube. So join me as we deep dive into the disturbing and unknown side of YouTube. So starting off today, I wanted to introduce you to the rabbit holes in store with something that without a doubt almost none of you are aware of. And that's because it only recently just happened about a week or 2 ago. A post was made on the Need for Speed Reddit where someone remembered a old creepy Need for Speed video they remember seeing back in the day, and this posted absolute numbers to the video, sending it from just a few thousand views to now amassing over 135,000 views. So just what caused the uproar? The video titled Need for Speed Most Wanted Fast Car 460 kilometers per hour is a video that was posted a little over 15 years ago and showcases the alleged fastest car in the game. However, the video quickly takes a dark, sinister twist as around the halfway mark of the video, a creepy blurred face of a mother alongside her child appears on the screen. It's almost as if the video is yelling at you, the audience, begging and grasping even for help, followed by even more graphic imagery. And the craziest thing about the whole thing is that this video was unnoticed on the internet for almost 2 entire decades, until 2025, where the original Reddit post gave it new life. And now thousands of new people are being recommended this creepy video. Listen, I honestly really love horror. It's one of my favorite genres and I love things that are creepy. But as I'm writing this script at 2 in the morning, it's honestly embarrassing to say that the unsettling aspect of the video was just too much for me, and I'm praying for the me tomorrow that has to edit this portion of the video. Going to the channel Mather of Hate 785, this is the only video to exist. The video was uploaded the same day the channel was created, and its profile picture is the same unsettling photo seen in the video of a woman with her child screaming. And another fun tidbit is that this channel predicted the whole YouTuber thing where YouTubers censor a face with a black bar as a thumbnail for some reason. The most disturbing thing is the vast unknownness of the entire channel. The description is exactly how a description of what early YouTube videos would be like from the era. The same goes for the thumbnail and channel about info. And it's really a remnant of its era. It really ends here, and we have a mystery in our hands that is currently unsolved at the moment. Many users believe this to be an ARG, but I honestly don't think so. Even some of the earlier ARGs on the internet didn't start until the early 2010s, and I'm sure this isn't too far off, but something about this video screams to me that it's nothing more than a simple jump scare video. Similar to the maze game craze or scary car ad that was all over YouTube back then. And while we might never know the answer to this mystery, and doing on the search of the internet for Mather of Hate leads us nowhere, you gotta admit there's some beauty in horror like this. And it's really just a remnant of its era that even 15 years later is still managing to frighten people. I highly doubt the uploader of the video is still active, potentially even alive, and even if he is somehow watching this video, and assuming this video was just meant for a scare and not a genuine crime or anything, this is one of the coolest remnants of horror on YouTube in its era. So on the off chance the creator sees this, thanks for the fright you've given me and many other peoples from 2009 all the way to present day. So for this next entry, I just want to warn you now that this is a heavy, and I mean heavy, topic. Researching for this bit, I honestly feel a bit disgusted, and I will not be using photos outside of what's already been documented pretty heavily on YouTube. And that's just because I feel even searching up this term would probably put me on a list somewhere in the world. So let me explain this in as broad a way I can, and that's because you're going to need some context for this one. Back in the day, most webcams sold from the early 2000s to 2010s had a file name associated with the video that would usually follow this format. The file name would be titled webcam video from, followed by the date, time, and year. On paper, it's just videos of webcam recordings, right? So what's exactly wrong with this, you might ask? Well, it has to do with the very, very young and impressionable audience that YouTube was appealing to at the time. You see, everyone and their kids wanted to be an up-and-coming YouTube star, so many children around the world, some even very young, were uploading videos of themselves to YouTube, just playing around, playing Minecraft, doing dances, whatever it is that kids from the time did. But to a child's mind, you can't really know what internet safety is, so sometimes you would get uploads of children doing innocent things that grown men on the internet would pry upon, and I think you can start to see the issue here. I honestly don't even feel like wanting to finish a sentence. Basically, old creeps on the internet were looking at unedited footage of kids hoping to see a slip up or something like that. I think I recall YouTube doing a mass wipe of content like this because really at the time this was a huge issue, and I remember it only really came into spotlight around 2014 or 2015, so for years this was just a secret kept within predators. Thankfully, YouTube has gotten a lot better at filtering stuff like this out, but the fact that even for a while this was a thing, I don't know, man. I just feel like moving on. I feel disgusting for even talking about this. Alright, moving on from the last one, I just want to get away from that and move on to rabbit holes and some more horror. Our next entry is Fullstop Punctuation. If you've been on YouTube for the better part of a few years now, you probably know what I'm talking about already. Sometimes, especially on mobile, people would accidentally just type a period or a dot into the search bar and hit search by accident. This would lead you to a bunch of creepy, scary-esque videos made by people who knew that people were accidentally searching for this term. And because of that misclick, they would take advantage of this to upload some scary, horrendous, and I mean absolutely horrendous things. Nowadays, it isn't even all that bad, and honestly, I kind of search this up from time to time because I'm always in for a good scare, and also some of the results are just hilarious to me. Take, for example, this creepy video of a humanoid dolphin thing. Even though it's meant to be scary, it's kind of funny to me. But back then, before YouTube had filters to bypass sensitive content like this, people would upload things like ARGs, jump scares, internet horror, and I know for a while, let's just say Mexican cartel-esque videos to give you an idea of what you could expect. My earliest memory of this is little 12 or 13-year-old me accidentally typing this on an old iPhone 4, and I was curious and looked a little bit too far, and needless to say, I was scarred, and the internet was never the same for me afterwards. I went to go look this up on Reddit to see what people think in the present day, and it seems that for the most part, depending on when you look it up, you can actually get some creepy results still. Honestly, from what I'm reading, this is less creepy and just genuinely disturbing, so you've been warned. Search at your own risk. I'm not responsible for what happens next. It's your life, not mine. Jumping into another YouTube oddity that has happened pretty recently but has died down for the most part, it's actually a mix of two entries because they both involve bots. And the second entry I don't think deserves its own part because there was genuine live people who took part in it but used bots to spread something heinous. They both involve bots, so that's what I'm basing it off of. Firstly is the influx of YouTube bots just spamming a bunch of names, and I mean a whole ton. I remember when I uploaded my first video to this channel just under a year ago, this actually happened to me where there was just a bunch of bots commenting random names. I would think that upwards of honestly around 50 to 100 bots from what I recall. And these bots plagued YouTube on popular videos that had passed a certain viewer threshold. I'm honestly more surprised by the amount of bots these people had, and the purpose of these bots were to dox and extract as much info as they could from up-and-coming channels. Basically, it would work something like this. A bot would scan for videos past a certain view range, for example, let's say around 10,000 views, and if the video was deemed popular enough, they would send an array of bots to spam a bunch of names onto the victim's channel. To most people who are worried about their internet security, they would obviously delete comments that include a channel owner's real name. Because internet safety, right? Well, once that comment is deleted, the bot owners would then get notified of the associated channel that had their comment deleted, and congrats, you just accidentally doxed yourself. I honestly didn't care if people found my name out, it's whatever, it is what it is, so I never really bothered deleting these comments, plus it was free engagement, so I was on board with it. And what does a first name even get you? That's probably why you don't see much of these anymore, because it's kind of hard to extort or blackmail someone, especially when all you have to go off of is just their first name. Not just that, a lot of internet creators make their name public anyways. And now for the more disturbing entry that involves bots. I found this out naturally, and for the sake of not wanting to research this again on my browser history, I'm going to be using old screenshots of me talking about this with my friends about a year ago. One day I was just watching Moist Critical videos, and I was one of the first viewers of the video. I had gotten the notification and I was bored, so I clicked on his latest upload and browsed the comments as I watched. And there was an influx of bots and a mix of what I think is real people claiming to be a part of a YouTube group called the UTTP. I'm going to be describing this as best I can, where a group of people target large channels and say abhorrent things, for lack of a better term, about Call of Duty points. And in their bio, they would then tell you where you can find this Call of Duty point content, available in their Discord server, simply by clicking on their About page. This is all according to comments I've read on the internet and Reddit, so take it with a grain of salt, but apparently it was a very real thing. Later on, a bunch of YouTubers started talking about it and making videos, because like it or not, their platform was being abused. Large channels were getting their channels raided simply to promote this sort of content. YouTuber Some Ordinary Gamers made a great video about this, and this is where I'm getting most of my information, and thankfully though, it seems like YouTube has already taken care of the issue, so all's well that ends well. Moving on. For the last entry in the video, I want to end it off on a good note. This video, I've talked about a lot of disturbing topics, so I'd like to end things off on a more positive note, and this is the time that YouTube got hacked. On December 26, 2010, YouTube was hacked. Not just a singular big channel was hacked, but the entirety of the website had been hijacked due to a certain bug in its API. And this bug allowed people to change the thumbnails on every video ever uploaded to any channel. So what did these nefarious actors do? Change it to a photo of a scary jump scare face? Maybe change the thumbnails to something disturbing? Well, no. Around the world, as people were getting their laptops, computers, even iPods and iPhones for Christmas, the very first thing they see upon opening up their shiny new device is musician Damo Suzuki. Damo Suzuki around the world was just the face of YouTube. On this day, back then, people even called it Damo Tube. And you gotta admit, the photo that you used goes pretty hard. If this happened in modern day, I would think it's just a weird bug or maybe even an April Fool's prank by YouTube, but you know, they would never really do this in the modern day, which is kind of sad to think about. Maybe I'll make a video on April Fool's internet pranks, since back then this was a huge thing, especially by Google, but nowadays they don't really do that anymore, so let me know if that's something you'd be interested in. I love internet nostalgia and topics like this. The hack also included images of the Sanrio cartoon character Piano-chan and a plastic figure of Dr. Eggman from the Sonic series. But come on, Damo Suzuki was just the YouTube thumbnail guy. The bug that allowed this hack to happen in the first place was patched pretty quickly on, and no real damage was done to the website. But there was the remaining issue of YouTube not being able to change all the thumbnails back to what they were originally. You see, even today, if you change a thumbnail on YouTube, its old thumbnail is gone and deleted, gone forever. You can't revert that. So thousands upon thousands of thumbnails to this day still have Damo as the picture if you go back and search for videos from Christmas 2010. Some YouTubers even hold it as a badge of honor. Like, yeah, I'm an OG YouTube creator. Oh yeah, how old are you? I had my thumbnail changed when I got hacked on Christmas morning. That sort of badge of honor is just something you had to be there for. And so you've made it to the end of the video. If you made it this far, comment Damo or something so I know that you made it this far. I love reading comments made by viewers and try to reply to as many as I can. And if at any point in the video you enjoyed, a like and maybe even a sub would go a long way on my YouTube journey, and I hope to see you on my next upload. But it's been fun rambling. Take care, everyone.